What's going on, everybody? My name is Tim Ruswick, and today we're going to talk about something that is especially close to my heart, and it's about thinking that other people have all the answers. So growing up, I always thought other people had all the answers. My dad always told me that if you don't go to college, you're not going to be anything in life, and I looked to him. I believed him. Why wouldn't I believe my parents, right? So I went to college and ended up dropping out 3.5 years in because it just wasn't for me. Right. I thought that I knew I didn't want college, but I went to college anyway because I looked outside of myself for the answers. There were several times in my life when I was just unsure about something, several companies that I built. I had a partner that was very persuasive, much older than me. And he seemed very knowledgeable about stuff. And I followed him into a lot of business ventures that didn't work out countless times because I always looked for answers outside of myself. I always thought other people knew best. I can't tell you how much time I spent on these projects, how much money we spent on these projects, and not to say that like I regret it, because I mean he's an awesome guy, and we had a ton of fun doing this stuff. And well, not all of it was fun, but I learned a ton, right? Like that's why I'm here where I am today talking to you, because of the weird, crazy experience and shit that I've had to do in my life. But it goes to show you like what can be done if you just constantly, if you don't have the self-confidence to understand, if you don't have the high self-worth to really look inside yourself for answers. A lot of us do this. It seems to be human nature. And the worse self-confidence you have, the lower your self-worth, the more you look outside of your body for answers. You look to other people. And it's quite common, especially earlier when you're younger. And of course, you look to your parents, right? They're figures that you look up to. But what you don't see when you're like a kid looking at your parents, you don't see that those are just people, that they make mistakes, that they don't know everything, that they may not necessarily tell you things to hurt you. They may have completely pure intentions, but they're just people, right? And I think as you kind of grow older, you kind of start to see your parents in that light, but you should kind of see everybody in that light. Like, they're all just people. Everybody's just trying to do their own thing. Some people care more about themselves. Some people care more about others. Everybody's just going about their life in their own way. And nobody has all the answers. And it kind of bothers me because I run a YouTube channel, right? I share my opinions. I share my thoughts. I share my experience with you 5 days a week. And I get a lot of questions that I feel like could be completely solved by the person if they just were dedicated to solving it, right? Like questions basically where they're looking to me for the answer. Like I have the answer, like I'm the savior, like I can fix something that they did wrong, or they don't know what's right. And there's nothing wrong with getting advice, right? It's absolutely a good idea. It's just that like when you look to other people for decisions, which is the main thing, like you're trying to make a decision, rather than like look to other people, get information, and then make a decision, you look outside yourself to make the decision. What should I do? Tell me what I should do. Because it's a lot easier, right? Everybody knows it's way easier if you just do what someone else tells you, right? We all wish that someone would just come in our life and just say, hey, do this, 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 this. Boom, you're successful, right? That'd be super easy. But the problem is there's no person like that. And if there was a person like that, they're probably trying to scam you. They're going to get you to send you some Google Play cards or tell you you're the heir to $50,000 or some shit from overseas, right? That's not real. That's not real. And so when we look outside of ourselves for answers, we can go in these wild goose chases. We can follow these things. We can look for these shiny object syndromes in business or in life. We can follow people that maybe don't have the knowledge or the skills that we think they do, or they don't have the positive intention that we think they do. Maybe they're just trying to get us to help them on something. Maybe they have another objective. It's good. It's good to get information. It's good to do your research. It's good to be well-read, but it's not good to constantly look to other people like they have the answers, to constantly assume that everyone else is in the know and you're just not. Right? Sometimes at some point in your life, you're going to have to decide that, okay, I have to make a decision on the information that I have. I'm going to have to move forward on what I think is right. I'm going to have to do the thing that I want to do. and people aren't going to understand, and they may try and dissuade you from doing it. They may not even intentionally be mean about it. They may not try and stop you from following your dream. They just may say things like, they may really have your best interest in mind. But sometimes you have to make a decision for yourself. Sometimes that's all that's left to do. And if I look back at my life and I look at the things that I've done, the things that I'm most proud of are the things where I took it in my own hands, where I just said, I want to do this thing. This YouTube channel is one of those things. I was dissuaded from a lot of people. A lot of people told me not to. A lot of people said, don't worry about it. A lot of people said it was a waste of time. And I looked to other people for a long time. I thought doing different things with different people would be a better alternative. But it turned out this is what was good for me. And this was a decision that I made, right? The same thing with my games. Games, I wanted to do it my entire life. My entire life I wanted to make games from like 8 on. But I thought that the other people around me knew better than I did. And they told me, Tim, don't go into games. They didn't even tell me why. They just said, you should try this. You should try this. You're really good with computers. You should try the computer stuff. You're really good with the internet. You should try this. Even the marketing thing was just like, Tim, you happen to be good at this. Why don't you just do this? And that's how I ended up in a marketing company. And all that time, I assumed other people had the answers. I assumed other people were right. I assumed other people knew what I should do. And that's why I had a weird, crazy experience in a whole bunch of stuff. And again, that's not that I'm saying that it's bad, right? I don't regret any of it. I learned a bunch of stuff and it made me who I am. It made this YouTube channel possible, right? But it's just, sometimes I wonder, like, what would have happened if I just went for the things that I wanted all along? If I just made my own decisions all along? If I didn't look to other people for decisions all along? So sometimes you got to make your own decisions. Right. That's all I got for you today. If you found this useful, hit me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I would appreciate them. If you have any questions on this, let me know as well. But once again, my name is Tim Elswick, and I will see you again tomorrow.